Sir, please share the page.
Yes, Peter, I'm gonna put this in the group. So what's your opinion, guys? Who was the telephone invented by? When was it invented? The telephone? What's your guess?
The
I
telephone
think
invented by Alexander Graham.
Alexander Graham Bell.
Everybody knows that the telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell, right? And when was it
Yeah.
invented, guys?
I think
1876, I think.
It was invented in 1876, Sana
No.
says.
Yes, sir.
What do you people think?
It wasn't before that. Is there any date? 95, 97?
1876 after 70.
Telephone, the
No
telephone
idea.
guy. When was it invented?
95, 1895, I guess.
1895.
Yeah, because in 1876 the printing press was invented by what's his name?
In 1876, the printing press was invented. I don't think so.
Yes, I think I have read somewhere about the printing
Now,
press in my literature.
I am pretty sure you are mistaken here. The
Yes,
printing press
sir.
is much older. Okay, which is the oldest
Yes,
in
sir.
this? Which is the oldest? Which is the oldest in your opinion? And which is the newest?
First printing press. Just
The
The
paper.
paper
the
was
paper
the
paper was
is the
invented in
Paper is the oldest.
1440 or 105 AD.
Paper was 105 AD, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
paper
it was invented in
in
105
105 AD. Right,
by
105
T.C.
AD.
Lowe.
By Saloon.
Lowe.
Yeah. Okay.
Silo.
All right. And the newest is the Apple PC, I suppose, right?
Yeah, the newest is
It
the
was
Apple PC.
invented by
Everybody
Steve
knows
Jobs.
who it
Yeah,
was
Steve
invented
Jobs and
by.
Steve Jobs.
was
Steve
in-
Jobs.
It was invented by Steve Jobs
1976.
And
and Steve
Steve
Wozniak.
Wozniak.
And when was that? When was it invented?
1976.
1976.
In
In
1976.
1976.
Yeah, it was invented in 1976. Okay. And what about the
Okay.
ballpoint pen, guys? The ballpoint pen, when was it invented? Take a look
The-
here. When was it?
Just after the paper.
Lazello B.
I think
Ballpoint pen.
just after the paper.
Ballpoint pen? You're mistaken.
Hmm.
No, ballpoint
Ah.
pen is a very new discovery, very new invention. Sorry, discovery, I'm saying. Very new invention. It is a very new invention, guys. Ballpoint pen.
I think 1876. In 1876.
No, I think
Ballpoint pen.
1938. Maybe.
I would go with
Yeah.
1938 too, Sana. I also think
Yes,
the
sir.
ballpoint pen was invented in 1938. It's a new, new invention. And who was it invented by? The ballpoint pen?
Marconi. Marconi.
Lazello.
Laszlo Biro. Laszlo
Yes,
Biro.
sir. Laszlo
Okay.
Biro.
Again, we are playing the guessing game, guys. If your general knowledge is
Yeah.
really good, or no problems, you're welcome to give the right answers. But if you're not very good at general knowledge, if you do not know about these things, just express your opinions. It's all right if you're wrong factually, not a big deal. It's not a GK class. We're not judging you for your general knowledge, okay? Next, the television. When was television invented?
Television was invented.
1924.
Television was invented in
1924.
1924. And who was it invented by?
The same
Galileo
guy.
John
Marconi.
Logie Baird.
Right,
John
John
Lo-
Logie Baird. Right,
John
John
Logie Baird.
Okay, Logie or Logie? John Logie Baird. Okay, and who was radio invented by? Everybody knows.
Googie.
Radio was invented by Guglielmo
Marconi.
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 Common name,
Yes, sir.
okay. Radio was invented by
A
Marconi.
difficult
And
name.
when was it invented? When was it invented?
900, 901.
105
89
AD.
1901.
Come again?
1901,
Writing
sir.
105 AD, sir.
1901.
1901 is not mentioned here.
I'm saying 105 AD.
Oh, come on.
1901 is not even mentioned here. Where did you get it?
But 105 is paper discovered. Lady.
Paper was discovered in 105 AD. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
105 AD. Radio was discovered, I think, earlier. I think it was it was 1876 maybe, or 1895. 1895 or 1876, one of the two dates, I think. It was either, invented in 1876 or 1895. Did I say discovered, by the way, again? Sorry if I did that. Okay, next, paper. We talked about paper, the oldest invention in this list. It was invented in 105 AD. And the printing press, this was invented in 1440, guys, about 600 years ago. Okay, and it changed the world, printing press. Okay, and who was it invented by, the printing press? Johannes Gutenberg.
Jonas.
John's
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg. Yeah,
Jonas
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg.
In the discussion round, first of all, let's listen and check. Okay, we'll find out. And then in the discussion round, we are going to talk about the importance of these inventions, which impacted the world in the best way, or in the biggest way, which impacted the world in the biggest way. Okay, in my opinion, it was the printing press, because knowledge was not so commonplace before the printing press was invented, because we didn't have books printing. Printing press made books easily available. Knowledge became commonplace. Earlier, knowledge was kind of, in some hands, in some minds. Only those people were authorized to give knowledge because they had access to handwritten books. But then the printing press came and the books became commonplace, and everybody started reading, learning, and it changed the world. Imagine the world today without the books. I mean, yes, one day we will have the world without books, because all books will be electronic books, right? The printing press came, did its job, and it will become kind of irrelevant one day.
Useless.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's find out about these inventions and their inventors and the time. 10.2.
Inventions that changed the world.
What's going on?
1.
I'm playing the audio.
Paper was invented by a Chinese government official called Cai Lun in 105 AD. The first paper was from a mixture of plants and cloth. Since the 18th century, paper has been made of wood because it is much stronger than cloth. 2.
The printing press was invented in 1440 by a German printer called Johannes Gutenberg. Today, everything is done by computer, and more words are printed every second than were printed every year in the 15th and 16th centuries.
3.
Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1876. Bell was born in Scotland, but he moved to America and became a scientist and teacher of the deaf. He worked with his assistant, Thomas Watson, and the first sentence he ever sent was, "Watson, come here. I want you."
4.
Guglielmo Marconi was an Italian physicist. He invented the radio in 1895. In 1909, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. The company he founded, the Marconi Company Limited, was bought by the Swedish firm Ericsson in 2006.
5. Television was invented by a Scottish engineer, John Logie Baird, in 1924. The first BBC television broadcasts in 1929 were made with Baird's system. In 2006, Logie Baird was named one of the 10 greatest Scottish scientists in history. 6.
The first ballpoint pen was invented by the Hungarian journalist Laszlo Biro in 1938. Many other ballpoint pens have been designed over the years, but in the UK, they are still called Biros.
7.
The Apple PC was invented by two American computer engineers, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, in 1976. The name Apple was chosen because it was Jobs' favourite fruit. Apple computers have always been highly praised for being both user-friendly and beautifully designed.
Okay. Did you get the extra information, guys? Or do you need to listen to it one more time for the extra information?
Yeah, one more time.
One more time, sir.
Okay, listen to it one more time, everyone, and catch the extra information. After I stop playing, I will ask you to share with me what else did you hear in the audio. Let's listen to it.
10.2 Inventions that changed the world. 1. Paper was invented by a Chinese government official called Cai Lun in 105 AD. The first paper was made from a mixture of plants and cloth.
Oh,
Since the 18th century, paper has been made of wood because it is
Okay.
much stronger than cloth.
okay.
2.
The printing press was invented in 1440 by a German printer called Johannes Gutenberg. Today, everything is done by computer, and more words are printed every second than were printed every year in the 15th and 16th centuries.
That's amazing.
3.
Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1876. Bell was born in Scotland, but he moved to America and became a scientist and teacher of the deaf. He worked with his assistant, Thomas Watson, and the first sentence he ever sent was, "Watson, come here. I want you."
4.
Guglielmo Marconi was an Italian physicist. He invented the radio in 1895. In 1909, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. The company he founded, the Marconi Company Limited, was bought by the Swedish firm Ericsson in 2006.
Okay.
5. Television was invented by a Scottish engineer, John Logie Baird, in 1924. The first BBC television broadcasts in 1929 were made with Baird's system. In 2006, Logie Baird was named one of the 10 greatest Scottish scientists in history. 6.
The first ballpoint pen was invented by the Hungarian journalist Laszlo Biro in 1938. Many other ballpoint pens have been designed over the years, but in the UK, they are still called Biros.
7.
The Apple PC was invented by two American computer engineers, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, in 1976. The name Apple was chosen because it was Jobs' favourite fruit. Apple computers have always been highly praised for being both user-friendly and beautifully designed.
Okay. Wow, we had a lot of extra information, guys. I don't know how much of the information you have managed to retain, All right, in your mind, you managed to keep in your mind. Let's see. Let's start with the telephone. The telephone was, of course, invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Where was he from? He was Scottish, but he moved to.
Was born in America, sir.
America and become a
He moved to
scientist.
Scotland.
Oh, really? Or he was born in Scotland and moved to America?
Yeah, he was
He
born
was
in
He moved to
Scotland
America and
and
become
moved
a
to
scientist.
America.
Yes,
Mhm.
he was born in Scotland and moved to America, and he worked with blind children there.
Deaf
children?
children, I guess.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. He worked with
It's
deaf
alright, sir.
children there. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry, that was a big confusion. I heard blind. I don't know. Poor memory. Okay, guys, a 44-year-old man cannot keep up with the memory of young people. Okay, so okay, and he invented this thing, the telephone. And what was the first message he sent on his telephone? And who was it to?
I want to come here. I want.
Mr.
Assistant.
Bilson, I guess.
Watson.
His
His
assistant Bilson.
assistant. His name was
Mr.
Watson,
Bilson.
something Watson.
Watson,
Something
come
Watson.
here. I want you.
Yeah.
Yay,
I
Watson,
want
come
you.
here. I
Come
want
here.
you.
I want.
I want you. If Watson was a
Mhm.
female assistant, this would be a little controversial. Come here, I want you. This would be enough ground for his divorce. Okay, guys. Okay. Because, want you can have a different meaning as well. I want
Yeah.
you can have a different feeling as well. If you say to a girl you are romantically inclined, involved with, and you say, I want you, it can have a different meaning. Okay. Next, move on to the Apple PC. Who
Apple PC.
invented the Apple PC? Obviously, everybody knows Steve Jobs and
Yeah,
Steve.
it was
Two
an
friends, Steve Jobs
was
and
their
Steve
job?
Wozniak.
They were both computer engineers.
Yeah, they
Where
were
were they
both
from?
computer engineers.
they
They
were
were
from
from the
America.
US. Right,
They
in
were
the
from
US.
US.
And why was Apple chosen as the name of the company?
because Steve
it's
favorite
Jobs'
fruit
favorite
is
fruit.
apple.
It was
Favorite
his
fruit.
favorite
Jobs'
fruit.
favorite fruit is apple.
Right.
I
Apple
was
PC, Apple phones, Apple everything have been highly
are
priced.
very user friendly, yeah, and very
They have been
beautifully
highly
designed.
priced. मतलब उसका कीमत ऊंचा रखा जाता है. They have been highly priced for being user friendly and for being beautifully designed.
Beautifully designed.
Apple products are highly priced for being beautifully designed and for being user friendly. All right. ये लाइन समझ में है ना? उसका कीमत बहुत ज्यादा रहता है क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा ब्यूटीफुली डिजाइन होते हैं और यूजर फ्रेंडली होते हैं वो प्रोडक्ट्स, एप्पल प्रोडक्ट्स. Now let's talk about the ballpoint pen. It was designed by Laszlo Biro. Who was Laszlo Biro?
Laszlo
Where
Biro.
was he from?
He was
From the UK.
Hungarian
an Hungarian
something
scientist.
He was a
scientist.
Hungarian scientist. Laszlo
Yeah.
Biro. He was from Hungary, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
And when was it invented? In 1938. Over the years, many different kinds of ball pens have been designed, right? But in the UK, they are still called Biros.
Biro.
Ballpoint pens are called Biros because Biro invented them.
Byron
Okay.
invented them, yeah.
Television. Who invented television? It was John Logie Baird. Where was he from? What nationality was he? He was Scottish. And
Yeah.
what was his
Yes,
job?
sure.
What was his job? He was a scientist too. And he invented television in 1924. And there was some extra information. In 1928, a BBC, the first BBC documentary was made, program was made.
Was
using
made on
his-
a barrow system.
on
Baird
by
system.
Baird system. Yeah, his television, right.
In
2000 it was
2006.
telecast. The first BBC
And in-
was made.
And in 2001, what happened?
He
That- that-
was
No, no, no,
nominated
no, no.
or how
No,
in
no, I don't
2001,
know.
yeah.
One thing
No.
we know that John Logie Baird is considered one of the top 10 scientists in the world.
Yeah, one of the top
His
scientists in
name,
the world.
yeah, his name is considered one of the top 10 scientists. He's
10
considered one of the
scientists.
top 10 scientists. Yeah. Now let's talk about radio. Radio was invented by Marconi, of course. Where was Marconi from, guys?
I think he was from the same land, Scotland, I guess. I don't remember about
Scotland.
Marconi.
They're from Scotland.
Or was he Italian? Was he Italian?
Maybe.
He was an Italian, sir. Yeah, he's from Italy.
Guys, was he
They
Italian?
are physicists that I know. They are physicists.
Okay.
He-
And
And they work in marketing company.
In
They were
1909,
working
he
in
has
Marconi.
got Nobel
yeah,
in
Marconi,
Physics.
He was
Marconi got
awarded the Nobel Prize.
1909.
Yeah,
He
Nobel Prize in
he was
Physics.
awarded. He was awarded a Nobel Prize in
1927.
1909.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, the
his
company
his company
Uh,
His
Marconi
company bought by a
Marconi
Swedish company.
was bought by a Swedish company, Ericsson.
company.
Everybody knows Ericsson. Ericsson is still a very popular company, right?
Sony Ericsson.
Ericsson. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sony and Ericsson are together. Ericsson was independent earlier, and then
Mhm.
you know, it was this Marconi's company was bought by Ericsson in 2001.
Six-
Paper was invented by Cylon in 105
A
AD.
Chinese government silent. Yeah.
It was a Chinese
Yeah.
government official. And
Agent.
initially, paper was made from
Earlier,
you
it
know,
was made of
cloth,
Mixture of
mixture of
plants
cloth.
and cloth.
cloth and
Plants.
trees,
Mixture of plant.
plants and clothes,
The-
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Since,
later, in the 18th century,
At
in the
18th
18th century,
century. And
they started making paper with wood.
boards.
Okay. And the printing press was invented in 1440 by
Mhm.
a German scientist. Gutenberg.
German printer
German,
called Jones.
German scientist Johannes Gutenberg.
Okay.
Johannes.
And what was the funniest part? That today everything is done by computers, and in
Oh,
1 second, more words are printed than were printed in the whole year in the 14th and 15th century.
15th and
It
16th
was
centuries.
invented in 1440. So in the 14th, 15th, and 16th century, in 1 year, a certain number of words were printed. More than that number is printed today every second.
So,
Think about it. This world was a very different place before the printing press was invented. And can I make a remark, which is a fact? Again,
Yeah. Sure.
some of you guys get a little bit, but just let me make this remark and we will not discuss this, okay? Because it is something that will help you. You know, today, if you find people, Christians, who are open-minded and they do not mind, you know, you having a different religion, or they do not mind celebrating your religious festivals and stuff like that, the openness that you see in Christian people, this is attributed to the invention of the printing press, because the printing press turned out to be very, very, I will say, dangerous. It was very destructive to Christianity. Before the printing press, the Bible was not easily available everywhere, and churches had the monopoly on the interpretation of the Bible. But
Bible.
the invention of the printing press
Printing press.
made Bible available to people, and they started reading what was written in it. And a lot of people, you know, could not really keep their faith after reading the Bible. A lot of them started thinking about it in a different way. Earlier, they heard about Christianity from churches. Churches misinterpreted twisted and manipulated the meaning to suit their agendas, to get the reaction they wanted from the people. But when people started reading the Bible independently, a lot of them did not remain as devout to their faith as their ancestors were. So turn out that the printing press is considered a big, destructive force for Christianity. But that's all I will say. And no comments, no discussion. Okay. Move on to the next part. Discussion. Which inventions do you think are most important? Why? Order them 1 to 7. 1 is the most important. Discuss your ideas as a class. So we have only a few people here today. So we can definitely have this discussion right here, or I can create 2 rooms where, we can have a couple of people in 1 room and they can have a discussion. Go ahead, guys, have a little chat. We have a few minutes, you guys are going to express your opinion about which of these inventions had the biggest impact on the world. Okay. And why do you think so? And which will be the least important in your opinion, which didn't make much of an impact on the world? Okay, or the impact was smaller, much smaller. Are we ready, guys? Let's do it, people.
Sir.
Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Accept the invitation. Okay, everybody. So, which invention have you put on number 1? I'm interested. Tell me.
The printing press, sir.
Oh, I influenced you guys. I influenced you.
Actually,
We hadn't had much time, so
I'm sorry, but
we
I.
had
Yeah, they
different.
guys have a complaint, sir. They
Yes.
guys have a complaint that you don't have to put me with them, sir. No, because I didn't let them speak, in the breakout room.
We never said that.
Yeah, just joking. He
I
knows
also
me
never
very well.
said.
Yeah.
Guys.
We just had a different kind of opinion. That everyone has a different option they have
Yes,
chosen.
Mac. Which one did you put on number 1? The most important invention.
Actually, Rakhi has chosen television, and Sana has chosen the telephone, and Sahid has chosen the printing press.
Right. And you, Mac?
And I have chosen the Apple PC. I have chosen the Apple PC. Yeah.
And in the other group, we, Neha, Sanjeev, Mukarram, you guys?
Neha and Sanjeev were not very vocal. And I chose the paper at first.
I chose the telephone, sir.
And and Rizvi was very diplomatic, sir.
Actually, I'm not a very
Yeah,
choosy.
he always, yeah.
So
He is a
cannot choose
Gambhir.
He
anything.
love to be, He always want argument, more argument. He is a diplomatic
Come
guy.
on.
Don't talk about him, na.
Yeah, I said like that. I said, for me, all the inventions are equally important.
ये सही बात है.
Except
तुम्हारे लिए दुनिया की सब
Apple
लड़की
PC.
अच्छी है. Yes, you don't.
Except Apple PC.
Like
I have a
that.
reason.
You are.
I said this thing. I said this thing to
If you
Mukarram.
go
If you
out,
don't have
if you
Apple
go out,
PC,
see the girl, you fall in love. I know.
Hello, guys, stop.
I'm very choosy.
Most people have chosen printing press and paper. Some have chosen
Yeah,
other
paper
things.
at 1 and printing press at number 2.
Okay, and
there is no use of a printing press, sir. If we don't have a paper.
Yes, right. But that's a different kind of logic. Then I will say That's a different thing. Well, we are running out of time, guys. So we'll have to wrap up. And